Well, thank you for making the time to make this happen.
Well, of course, all we have is trivia.
Okay, great. Well, I thought, I've picked up my kids. Next thing we have on the docket is music practice and soccer, but that's not for a while. I've got some
Okay.
time, and we've got to give the people the Four Seasons story and day 3.
That's right. We have to give them 4 seasons and day 3.
Let me get it.
4 and 3.
Hold it like this.
Oh,
No, I'm saying get close. That's our photo.
okay. I figured that's what you were doing. I saw what your brain was doing.
Okay, so everybody, y'all can see where I am right now, and I'm excited that y'all get to watch this because our episode premiered last night. So guys, this is our basement that we had redone.
It's so cool. I'm
You
so
guys.
happy for y'all.
So if anybody wants to watch it, where is it on? Magnolia, and I think HBO Max, maybe?
I don't know. I thought is it HGTV?
It's Magnolia Network.
Okay, Magnolia Network is different from HGTV.
Yeah, but I think I saw something about like HBO Max, something. So
Okay.
you guys will find it. We'll link it. We'll see.
Oh, we'll be including all the links, but finally everyone gets to see the basement.
The basement. I can actually share photos and video from this space.
Yes, you can say this was my entire personality, and now y'all get to see why.
Now
I mean, the amount of work, pre-work that you had to put into this, truly wild.
Yeah, and people will see in the episode what it looked like before. So not only the pre-work we had to do, but then getting rid of everything that was still there, emptying the space so that they could start from scratch.
It's so cool though. It's so freaking cool. Of course, if you were doing a viewing party, I was actually going to make a cake.
Oh,
based on the wall.
That would have been really cute. Listen, let us watch the episode first.
Yeah, I am. I'm blessing and releasing this.
Let me watch it, and especially for Matt, he needs to see it to know that like it's okay and it's good. Yes,
it's all good. Y'all are going to look amazing. Did you see my text that the slate interiors thing? I definitely knew that was going to be in there, which I'm excited about because I love that store, and I know you did too.
I loved it. And Matt is excited to see that part because he wasn't there for that filming.
Right.
So he really doesn't know what it was like or what we talked about. So that'll be kind of a surprise for him.
Yeah. Do you like that I keep trying to give you spoilers about your own show that you were on?
That just makes you a good friend.
I know first. So I want to tell you something.
Yeah. I love that. So you guys are probably wondering, why are we recording BravoCon day 3 now after we've come home? And the answer is technology sucks. The answer is we stayed up past midnight to record that for you guys while we were still in Las Vegas on Sunday night.
With both of our flights leaving. I mean, I left the room at 4:12 a.m. You left shortly after I did. I snuck out in the dark of the night like a robber.
Yeah.
And we stayed up. I mean, neither of us fell asleep. I didn't think we turned off even the TV until 1 a.m. because we stayed up so late to record this. And it was an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
After what? We got back from dinner?
Yeah. We had a later dinner.
A late dinner. This is also daylight saving day. So we gained another hour, but really that was just gaining another hour to stay awake and still not sleep. To have, I mean, it was genuinely a 20-hour day, I think. And when Kristen went to download the audio, there's our cute little faces.
Yeah, you can see us talking, expressing. We're doing all the things on video, but there's no audio. And I've tried every trick in the book. There's no audio.
And it's weird because we tested the mics beforehand. Like everything was.
Yeah, a couple of times we tested it and we were like, great, I trust it. And it was not to be trusted.
It never is to be trusted, but isn't that a metaphor for life?
It is. If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times.
But you know what you can trust is us to get this content to y'all one way or another.
That's right.
Because now we are home in the middle of practices, life, school, trivia, shows premiering, and a million other things. And we're like, we are going to get day 3 out for these hoes.
Yes.
But it's because we know that this trip was funded by y'all.
It was. Y'all were such a huge part of it, and your
Yeah.
excitement DMing us and asking us questions and wanting us to see this or that. We really felt like we had brought you along with us, and y'all deserve day 3.
And we have to see it through. We have to see it all the way through. And as much as the option could be tempting to say, you know what, we've done day 1, we've done day 2, we'll just post a lot of videos and pictures and make them feel like, no, it's just not enough.
It's not enough.
Not
but
enough.
Before we can give y'all day 3, we have to give y'all 4 seasons the night before.
Oh my gosh. And this was a choice.
Yeah.
We were still in our room at the end of day 2 at 9 p.m. And there was a lot of me, because we had just recorded day 2.
Yep.
And I looked at Kristen's beautiful green eyes, and I was getting the feeling that
I was shutting down.
That she could easily just power off like a robot and go into her harness and charge for the night. and not to be heard from again until we pressed power on the next day. And but there was just something inside of me that was saying, we've got to go to the 4 seasons. This is the only night we can do it. The next night we had planned on being at Paris because we knew that there were going to be 2 Andy shows recorded, and so we thought we really need to be at Paris tomorrow night. So this was the only night, and I said, we've got to go. Can you do it? And she was like, fine. And she got cute.
I was motivated by fashions, and you did that because you were like, you can wear this, put that on, I'll wear this, we'll look cute together. It's giving casual girls in the city with an elevated style. Like,
it was really our personalities in 2 completely different outfits. I looked like a power lesbian. You looked like a power puff. And
yeah, I looked like a cake.
Yeah. And so it couldn't have been more us. You in the red, me in a combat boot.
Yep.
Ready to take on the world. It was giving, you're my lipstick and I'm your butch. And it was giving that. And honestly, fine by me. Fine by me, fine by you. Let's play the roles.
And we did it. We got gussied up. I hobbled myself through the Paris casino. We hobbled out to the Ubers. And we said, take us to 4 seasons. On the end of the strip, it was a long way down.
I had warned you about this. I was like, I don't know really who is staying at the 4 seasons in Vegas, because it is so far down the strip that you really do need to like Uber or monorail in. Whereas I like to be in the heart. I like to be in the center of all the commotion. I want to walk out and I want the weed to hit my face. I want the pretend showgirls' butts right there. I want the naked cowboys singing a tune. I want the Magic Mike pretenders gyrating. I want to walk out and feel it. You don't get that at the 4 seasons.
No, I mean, you actually do kind of feel like you're just in a different city. It didn't feel like you were in Vegas. You could have been anywhere. And maybe the housewives like that. I think maybe there's a part of them that most of them are very wealthy and very bougie, and they just want to feel like they're in their bubble.
Sure. And they had that. They had that bubble until all of us Bravo fans infiltrated their lobby.
So we walk into the lobby, and it's very clear that most of the seating in the hotel bar is already taken up by Bravo fans. It's clear that these are not hotel guests. These are people watching the door, waiting for those doors to open to see what Bravo Lab is coming in next.
And these are not people paying $1,400 a night for a room.
No. And for a split second, they looked at us and they thought, who are they?
Yeah.
For about like 30 seconds.
30 seconds of people for sure wondering which Bravo celebrity you were. Some said Brynn, some did guess. And that delighted you.
Well, and somebody said Catherine, but then he was like, but you're too short for Catherine. She's so
Yeah.
tall.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. People did think Catherine and then Bryn and any other redhead, basically. Any other
Yeah.
redhead in the Bravo verse, which there aren't many.
There's not.
There's really not. And then they, of course, thought I was your bodyguard. So,
Or my lesbian lover. I mean, let's be
yeah.
honest.
Let's be honest about this.
Let's be
I mean,
honest.
if people have listened to episode 2, which you should have by now, BravoCon Day 2, you know that I was also there to scope out Chanel Ayan and to continue our relationship and see what's happening. So again, that's why I had to bring Power Lesbian, because I needed Chanel Ayan just to know. I wanted her to know.
Yeah.
Happily married for almost 20 years to a dude. But these are funny jokes that we are just going to continue to lean into.
We are, because it makes content.
I mean, much like Bryn is pretending to be with Jenna Lyons, and she's not.
That's right. They're not getting together. But she likes to say she's going to City Hall to marry Jenna Lyons any day now.
Correct. And I'm doing that with Chanel Ayan or you. So, so people are a little bit confused. Obviously, I think more people think that you are Megan Fahey, because at this point, it's at least more plausible that we are that you, the star of White Lotus, is showing up to the Four Seasons in Vegas. At least that makes a little bit more sense than walking around with a general admission wristband.
Yep, we had that GA. Yep.
At the Caesars Forum. So this, at least I could see why people were a little bit more confused and staring a little bit harder. I mean, they were ready to pounce. There was movement standing up out of their chairs. And it was funny because it was like extreme excitement and then them all going, no. Yeah. And then
she's nobody. Down. And I keep saying, I really am sad to disappoint people. I am. I wish I could be like, it is me. It's me, you guys. But I am no one. So we find ourselves a couch to sit on. Thankfully, we were able to find some seating. And lo and behold, literally next to our couch at a little two-top table is Karen Huger from Real Housewives of Potomac. The Grand Dame of Potomac.
The 4-wick candle. The home line. Married to the Black Bill Gates. The what did she say? Hold on.
The Black Bill Gates. Well, she said she's made an empire out of being called the Grand Dame.
Oh, sorry. That's what I was going to say. La Dame. La Dame is the parfum.
Yep.
4-wick candle is the home decor. And she's building an empire off of 2 products. But you know what? No shade, because sometimes that's all you need. The ShamWow is one product.
And she has her wig line, and she was wearing one of her wigs. She said, she told us that.
She did tell us that through slurred words. She did. Yeah. I was struggling to understand her.
Yeah. Karen had many sips of something. But you know what I liked about that? I got to give it to Karen, who sat her booty in a chair in the lobby with all of us Bravo fans.
Yep.
And she was not intimidated by that. Obviously, some people had come up and taken photos. We eventually had our turn to chat with her, take pictures. And she was so chill about that. And that gets mad respect from me.
And she was in a tracksuit. A real cute but casual tracksuit, just hanging down at the lobby with her daughter, Raven.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah, hanging out with her daughter, Raven, who flew in that day just to be with her, came straight from the airport. I guess Karen called her and said, I need Andy and a camera stat and come on here and help. And she did. And she even said, Raven was like, she doesn't even have 2 beds in that room. I have to share that with my mother.
I know.
With my mother tonight. Like, it was very funny. They were very chill. I really enjoyed talking to them. And Karen Huger's, she's dope.
She's dope. And it was interesting. She was kind of picking our brains to try to get our opinion on the panel that she was on that day. And she said, do you think I went too hard on Charisse? Was I being unkind? You could tell, like, in her state of mind, whatever that was, that she was really mulling this over, and she almost needed backup to ensure or say to her, you were good. You were great. I don't think you were mean. I don't think you were too shady. It was great.
I love how much she valued our opinion.
Yeah.
She really did. It was crazy. I'm like, no, she was like, I don't know. The producers came up to me afterwards and they were saying this and that. And I was just like, no, you're good, girl. Like, you're good. She's like, really? Do you think so? What about when I said this? What about when I said that? So it's funny to know because she comes off as so sure of herself on the show. Confidence is up here. For her to then be replaying everything that she said in her mind and genuinely wanting a fan who seemed level-headed, which we were probably the only two there in that lobby, who had any wits about us still left. I mean, y'all, at one point, I watched two women at a couch across from me each pull out one titty and touch their nipples together.
Yeah, this is not a joke. The titties were out and I wasn't facing them, but Miranda was like, I just saw people's nipples.
Touching. I said, excuse me, I'm the only power lesbian here. Ladies, please exit. Revolving door.
Can leave.
It was wild. I said, we're in the Four Seasons.
Yeah, put your nipples away.
Put it away. I'm not on snatch guard like Luann to Sonia. I'm not there. I need them to button it back up and zip it up. And let's act like we have some sense. And the women were just so drunk in this lobby. They were
so we'll say this, you guys. Overall, the women and some men that were in this grouping of people, and there were maybe 30 of us, Bravo, crazy gaga people who were there to take photos. And that's fine. We were one of them. But most of them did not have any sense. So it was either bum rushing the celebrities when they walked in or just being so drunk that you're grabbing their arms. I mean, I saw one woman just squeezing Emily's arm in her face, like this close. You know, it was almost uncomfortable to watch at certain points. And I'm like, guys, we got to look like we are pulled together a little bit here. You know, let's have some class.
Yeah. We're all going to have turns. We're all going to have time. You can tell the ones who are just scooting right through very quickly. And you can tell the ones who are really there to engage with the fans. And you could tell the Bravo Lebs who seemed very sober. And you could tell the Bravo Lebs who had been overserved. And you could feel each one of them out just how they were walking in. But people were rushing them, screaming their names. And it's just like, if we can act chill, they're probably going to want to hang out longer.
Yeah. And 100%. So we came in, we saw Karen but we didn't rush her at first. We gave that time because she was sitting. So we got our drinks and snacks after a delay. You know, the Four Seasons took a while to get it together. And I did talk to Matt about this because, as you know, he was in hospitality for a long time. He said it's possible they were short-staffed.
Sure.
And then I asked him about them trying to take our plates so much and how now at every meal you eat at, people keep trying to take your plate, even though there's still food on it, even though it's very clear that you're still eating. And I said to him, why? Why are they trying to take the plate? And he said, usually that's because for two reasons. They're trying to turn the table, or they've watched so many people eat that particular food that they know about how long it should take someone to eat it. And so if it's been longer than that, they're on autopilot thinking this person's done. And I said, well, they need to read the cues because some people eat slower. My dad eats really slow. You're eating slow.
My grandma eats very slowly.
And it's like, and you had to tell 10 times. You had to say, please don't take my plate.
Please don't take my food. I have a slowly digesting stomach right now due to GLP-1 drugs. And I am so sick of having to tell you that. I just want to finish my food. We are paying an astronomical price to sit here in the lounge. This isn't like we're trying to turn the table. It's a lounge. It's not a sit-down restaurant where you have reservations coming in. Actually, no one else is coming in after us. No. We are the only ones now left. So please let me eat this burrata. Please. I want to finish the pesto burrata.
You were begging.
I was begging them to let me finish for the low price of $128 for 2 shared apps and 2 cocktails. I should be able to eat however slowly I want.
That's
That's
right.
what I think. That's what I think, Four Seasons. And if it's because you're running out of plates, then I don't know. Use the $1,200 a night you're charging people and buy 10 to 20 more plates. I'm not trying to tell people how to run their business, but I have run a food-based business before.
Yes, you have.
So not my first rodeo.
Yeah, it definitely, yeah, it was giving that they felt a little confused maybe by the amount of fans, maybe caught off guard is the word, that they didn't realize not only are they going to have all these housewives here, but that so many people would find out and come just squat on their lobby and be showing their titties.
But I will say this, not one person had to stand. If there was a seat,
True.
People were sitting. It wasn't like this was standing room only. If people were deciding to stand, it's because they were trying to stand closer to the door, not because of a lack of seating. So it's not like we had overwhelmed in that way. Maybe overwhelmed, in personality, in gumption, in sprightliness. Yeah. But we did not overwhelm as far as sheer numbers and seating and stuff like that.
That's right.
Again, I need restaurants, wait staff, whatever, that if someone still has a third of the food on their plate and they've not put the napkin on there, they've not, I don't know, sprinkled salt or sugar all over it to tell them to stop eating and take it away. If they haven't said, hey, can you take this away? Then maybe they still want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I might still want it. I might still want to finish the burrata.
We need Elon Musk to push that red button, let the world know, blast it out, and make an announcement.
Leave the plate. My God, what else do I need to do here besides telling Elon about it? So
the first person, do you remember who it was?
The next person was Jessel.
Yep. So here comes Jessel, and Pavitt is with her.
And we had not seen them all con.
Yeah.
We had not seen Jessel. We could not get into the New York panel. Mm-hmm. The line was so long. The only long line we saw at all of BravoCon was for the Real Housewives panel, which I think we already discussed. We don't know why they did Married to Medicine in the big room and New York in the small room. We thought that it could have been switched, but we don't watch Married to Medicine. Maybe it's a hugely popular show and it's very crowded. That's not for us to decide. That's obviously for the Bravo organizers to decide, but they could consult us next year. We're here. But Jessel, we hadn't seen. So we were excited to see her in real life. We were excited to see Pavitt, even though he ran the other direction.
Pavitt ran for his life. When people started to stand up to kind of move closer, he ran down the hall.
He did.
And was he with Aaron's husband?
He was with Abe the babe.
Yeah.
But we didn't really see Aaron there with Jessel. So she must have been still up in the room or something like that. I'm not quite sure. But we saw Jessel. She was lovely.
Yes. So lovely. She almost seemed bewildered, just kind of like, people are coming over here to take pictures with me. And this is so odd, but very sweet about it. But just, you could tell on her face, it was just kind of shocked. And this is all brand new for these New York girlies. This is a new world for them. And she's got to get used to it because now she's famous.
Actually, and this brings up a good point. A lot of people have been asking if we found out any recon about why Jenna wasn't there. Yeah. And I read in Us Weekly article where the caption, this is why y'all always have to click beyond the headlines, because the caption that they're leading off with is Jenna was trying to make a joke saying, I couldn't be there. I had something really important to do, like twiddle my thumbs. And so it came off very shady. But then when you click on the article, then you hear the rest of it, which was, no, of course I'm kidding. I would have been there, but I already had a prior event I had to be at, and flying in and out would have been too close. Something like that. She said she also had a personal matter to attend to. Everything is pointing towards, Andy definitely wanting these 6 women back. He wants Jenna back. The cast is saying that they want Jenna back. I'm not getting the sense that Jenna is a no for next season, but I do think that BravoCon would have been extremely overwhelming for her.
I think so. Her personality, even just the show and the reunion was overwhelming for her. Yeah. And she really, as big of a name as she really is just kind of a regular gal. It almost reminds me of like if my sister It's kind of personality. If my sister was suddenly thrown into reality TV as, this big CEO and super successful businesswoman, and all of a sudden it's drama and it's yelling and it's all of these things, I can't imagine Sister Lauren then being thrown into BravoCon just with truly insane fans. I hope Jenna does come back, but I don't know if she's going to.
I know. I think for the right price, she will.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, it's good to stay relevant, right? It's good to be relevant.
She has an eyelash line.
Yeah.
Now I'm not deep into the beauty industry, as anyone looking at my face could tell, but I am curious, like, is her lash line highly known? Is this something that is in every Ulta? Is this something like,
no,
you tell me.
No, I mean, I had maybe heard of it through some Instagram ads when she first brought it on and mentioned the name. I thought, I think I've heard of that, but I'm not seeing it in the Ultas, the Sephora's. It's not one of the main lash lines.
So all that to say,
ding, ding.
It probably would do her some good to continue to stay on a huge hit television show, to continue to talk about this business venture of hers.
I agree.
So money talks, and I think that she will find a way to even say, hey, as long as I can get a commercial in there, something like that, Jenna Lyons will surely work out a good deal that will make it something she can't say no to.
Yeah.
But no, she was not there. And no, we didn't ask anybody because we knew that they would say the same thing. I know, I wish that she were here too, or we love Jenna. Or what. So there was no point in even trying to like get down into it with Jessel, especially. And we could tell that there was seconds with her.
Yeah.
And then the next person we saw was Angie K, right?
Yes, I think so. So Angie K, I'll pull up my phone so we can kind of go back and see. But yeah, here's Jessel. And then it was.
Y'all, she was so nice.
I honestly, her status for me as a housewife has elevated because of our conversation with her.
I agree. I like her on Salt Lake. I really enjoyed her. I liked her last year too. She's the one who poured the water.
Yes.
On Lisa Barlow's head.
Yes. Here she is, y'all. There's Angie
K. What a nice human being. And so I led off with, like, I always try to lead off with something totally random. Yeah. So everyone else is going to walk up to these girls and say, I love you so much. You're my favorite housewife. I love you on Salt Lake City. Da, 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 da. They're all going to have the same conversation. But I always try to go up and lead off with something very specific and always about the family if I can, because ultimately all of these women are family people. They love their family. They love their kids. They love their parents. They love their siblings, whatever. Yeah. So I'm always going to try to lead off with that. So of course, when I get a second with Angie, I'm going to say, I love watching you cook with your father. I cook with my dad a lot. It's something that we do together. So it's really sweet to see on the show. And right then I had her.
Boom. Y'all, Miranda's gift, it's a gift of being able to not only get these people's attention, but then have just the right thing to say that draws them in. And as we keep talking through this, I will give you examples, but that right there is a perfect one to say, I love to cook with my dad. And immediately Angie was just like, oh my gosh, yes, it means so much to me. Family is everything. I mean, and we just got to chat with her. She was so real. She seemed so normal. She didn't seem pilled up.
Nope, not pilled up at all. And then didn't you say, like, I loved seeing your pastor? What do they call it in Greek?
Well, they had like a priest. They, when the Greek Orthodox Church, they had a priest there. And I said, we don't see a lot of religion on these shows. And for you to have that and have this really nice prayer and talk about Easter was really refreshing. And I think it was well received by the audience. So
I do too, because obviously we hear about Mormonism on Salt Lake, but you only hear about it really negatively, obviously set aside Lisa Barlow Jack, which we'll get to, but it was really nice to hear you say that to her too. You can tell how deeply proud she is to be Greek.
Yeah.
So when we talk about their native food, when we talk about their religion, when we talk about traditions and holidays and stuff like that, and just hearing her speak the language to her daughter, instantly they relax.
Yes.
And they are so happy to talk about that sort of stuff, because ultimately that's what matters.
Yeah.
The show will be gone eventually, and their faith will still be left and their father will still be left and like all these things, right? So that's
Yes,
what if we can recommend, if y'all decide to come to BravoCon next year, go to any convention really, and you're trying to meet people who you've only seen on TV, try to talk to them about something other than the drama on the show.
that's right. Talk about something that's meaningful to them and they will
Yeah.
light up. And that's what we
Yeah.
saw over and over, especially
Yeah.
this night. So we, along those same lines of a super great housewife is when we saw Jen Fessler.
Oh, Jen Fessler.
She was
Y'all,
great.
she's so sweet.
So
I had an
nice.
interaction with Jen earlier that day.
Yeah.
Kristen had an interaction later this day. We had two totally separate individual moments with her that didn't overlap. And she was fantastic to both of us, bar none. So great. Give her a permanent spot, not friend of.
Yeah. Give her a meatball.
Yeah. Or what'd you say? A mozzarella.
A mozzarella, a glass of red wine, or a meatball. Something. Yeah. Give this woman, she needs a permanent spot on Jersey because she's a bright spot on Jersey. And if any franchise needs a little levity, it's Jersey.
And her face looks great. Her teeth look great. The bangs look great. The skin looks great. Whatever Jen, as we know, had a makeover, like all do from season 1 to season 2. Jen did it all right. Check.
Check. So next we had Emily Simpson.
Emily.
And Guy, I'm going to give y'all another great example of Miranda just drawing people in and just being her authentic self, which Miranda, you do this in your daily life anyway. It doesn't matter that it's a Bravo celebrity. It's anybody. The reason people are drawn to you is because you're so authentic that it allows people to be themselves. And so to watch this in real time with people who are very, very famous and for them to have the same reaction was amazing. I was just writing your coattails and it was great. But we see Emily, and as some of y'all probably know, Emily had shared that she had done a little bit of Ozempic last year.
A couple months.
Yeah, just for a couple months to kind of kickstart her health journey. And so Miranda brought this up to her.
That I said, Emily, I know that you take a lot of heat because I feel like you were the first housewife to actually admit that you were on it. Now, Dolores has admitted it too. It's just for some reason, Emily gets a lot more shit because of it, because then Emily posts, this is what's so wrong with society when it comes to talking about these medications is Dolores can talk about having a million surgeries, being on Ozempic, and looking fire fantastic. We saw Dolores up close in person multiple times. She looked incredible. Okay. Emily, but Dolores never posts about working out or like eating right or anything like that. She never posts about it, but she will freely share all the surgery updates and all of the Ozempic. Emily shared that she went on Ozempic for a couple months to just kickstart some things and that she had liposuction. And then she posts on top of that how she works out literally every day with a trainer. And on every single one of her workout posts, of her workout videos, if you go on there, the first 100 comments are Ozempic much? Ozempic much? That's a body by Ozempic. Ozempic. It's so annoying to watch because
she's putting in the work.
She's actually doing so much working out because, again, Ozempic depletes muscle mass. It doesn't build it. So in order for you to look ripped, you have to do double the amount of work, double the amount of weights, double the amount of cardio. And she's doing it. And people are coming harder for her than someone like Dolores, who probably is working out, but she's not posting it constantly. But like, she gets it more. So I wanted to tell Emily that, Emily, I see you post. I see you putting in the work. I know that you took the shot. I'm currently on the shot. And I just want you to know that I am in your comments fighting people for you because it's so unfair what has happened to you. And she's like, thank you so much. Like
she was so tired. She was so grateful, I think, to talk to somebody like you. And I loved when you said to her, you know, for me, to be able to do something where now that number on the scale starts going down was really motivating to keep going, keep working out, eating clean. I just needed that motivation. And she looked at you and was like, that's what it is. That's what it was for me, was to see the scale, to see that number start to go down was just enough to get me motivated to where I knew I could do this for myself.
Because we were similar. It's like, I'm already doing the working out. I already feel like I'm eating better. I already feel like I'm doing this, and it's going up. Yep. Do I think it's because I turned 40? Yeah. Do I think it's hormones? For sure. Do I think that this is just the hands of time working against me? Absolutely. Does it also mean that, is it also because I ate Krispy Kreme glazed donuts? Huh? And now, yes. But the point being is, like, I was not binge eating. I was not sitting on my butt all day. I was not doing these things. I was training for a freaking 10K and gaining weight. At some point, you become so discouraged that you don't even know what to do. You are out of options. You are out of answers. You really are so desperate that you're like, I will do anything to watch it go down by 0.1. Anything. And that's what we really related to each other, was just, we needed the scale to go down. And then you lose a little bit of weight, and then you can work out easier. It is easier to move your body. It does feel better to run when your boobs aren't a 38 double D. Like, my God, my God.
Have you given people the update on your size? Did we tell them?
I'm just kidding. Yeah. So y'all, I went and got fitted for a bra Victoria's Secret finally before we left, because it was becoming tragic. Yeah. And I am a 36C and I was a 38 double D.
That is such a vast difference. I could not believe it when you told me that in the hotel room. I was shaking.
It's now, if I put my bra next to Kristen's, it would still be jarring, but it wouldn't be BravoCon 2019 jarring.
Agree. I mean, you're in a C. That's wild.
So it's an adjustment to see my boobs this small. I know. And I know to some people, they think 36C probably is still big to them, but to me, it is not. And so I'm coming to terms with that, because I think some of my, like, not self-worth, but when you're a bigger girl, yes, you rely on your boobs to be like, what's sexy about you? It's like, well, yeah, I'm very curvy, but so are my boobs. So is my butt. So as I've lost my boobs and butt, I'm like, where's my sexy girl? Like, you know, and so I'm coming to terms with it. There's still a lot of stuff I have to flesh out mentally about that, but that's not what this podcast is about.
Okay. So listen, next we met Jen and Ryan. Here's Jen.
Oh, so nice.
Yep. She was super sweet. They took their time with people. And even Ryan seemed really normal and, like, not douchey at all.
I talked to him for a while, and all he had to say was, like, I am so proud of her. She is beaming. She is just the light of my life. I love her so much. We've really weathered the storm, and now hopefully it's just onwards and upwards from here. And I was like, Ryan, don't hurt her. You've got a lot to prove here, buddy, and just keep your nose clean type thing. And
and he exactly, like, some of these new guys and women, but the guys, they got to know now you're under a microscope. Every move you make, any text you send, anything you airdrop to others is going to be exposed.
And exposed is the pun intended.
It is. So speaking of exposed, next there is a commotion by the front sliding doors, and we see pink sparkles, and we see a whirlwind of activity, and we realize it's Sonia Morgan, and she's not going to stop for photos, and not in a rude way. I'll say that. Sonia was in her own world with her young man on her arm, and she was just trying to get back to that hotel room. That was it.
Yeah, she was. She was boots and buggy.
So let me see if I can kind of show. So this is them. So I get this shot. She's running with this man down the hall, and this is the photo I was able to grab. So this is Sonia Morgan and a mystery man right here.
Yep.
It was special.
Could he be hair? Could he be makeup? Could he be any of that? Sure. Could he also just be her gentleman suitor for the night? Absolutely.
I think it was. Next up, we had Queen Lisa Barlow.
We had Baby Gorgeous herself.
We had Baby Gorgeous, who I would say, I think for me, was the most surprising for me, that she was warm, engaging, actually wanted to keep talking to us, came back over to us to continue the conversation, because again, Miranda knew just what to say, mentioned her son who is out on mission. And I think the minute you mention her children, it's very emotional for her. And she just wanted to keep talking about it. She was so nice. Now, this is one of the ones, though, y'all, who was just bum rushed. The second people saw Lisa Barlow, you could watch it. She was getting pushed into the corner of the Four Seasons lobby.
She was Homer Simpson trying to get into the bush because people were pushing her. And to the point where Kristen, I think at some point said, back up. Y'all are literally pushing into the corner. Like, that's weird.
It was too much. And people, again, have some decorum. Let's look at each other and make a line and be respectful. But as the night goes on, people are drinking more. It's getting a little more unhinged. And so thankfully she was okay.
It was giving Heather Gay 5 espresso martinis. And
it was.
And people were pushing her. And at this point, I see John Barlow over to the side. So I say to him, everyone loves your wife. And he's like, so do I. And I said, well, can you be our wingman? Because it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get in there. And he was like, I got you.
Yeah.
So at that point, we relax. I say, hey, I got John. He knows that we want a picture with her. Let all this crazy shit happen. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then we're able to kind of work our way into her. And, or maybe she kind of comes up to maybe we're still standing by John.
Yeah. I feel like she kind of shuffled over a little bit.
Okay. Kind of shuffled over to us. And I, just say, hey, Lisa, we love Salt Lake. We were at or maybe you said we were at 2019's BravoCon when they announced Salt Lake, and we were giddy.
Yeah.
And she was
we were like, we were excited about you before we even knew you. You were like a newborn baby.
I loved you before I met you. I think I dreamed you into life. Do you know that one?
Yeah, that's a great song.
That's a good one. It's going on Spotify.
Yeah, it's a great song.
I have been waiting all my life. Something like that. So we're like just telling her how excited we were, how they have not disappointed, not for 1 second. And so I then start to say, how is Jack doing on his mission in Colombia? And she's like, oh, he's good. And then people kind of swarm her, and she takes pictures, and then she goes, excuse me. And she walks back over to us and is like, so anyway, Jack's in Colombia, and I just wanted to let you know that he's safe. And and she just could not wait to continue to talk about him.
It was so nice.
It was so nice. So then we just talked to her about Colombia, and I said, I don't think Kristen's been there. She's been everywhere, But it just was really funny, but sweet. Sorry, y'all. I'm using the light from my laptop and it keeps going to sleep. It was just sweet to know that she wanted to make a point to come over and finish the conversation, that it was as important to her as it was to us to just chat.
Yeah. I mean, she really was kind of the surprise for me of BravoCon. Just somebody very warm and engaging, because she obviously is a huge top housewife fan favorite of many people. And she still was like, yeah, let's kick it. So I was pleased.
And John behind the scenes was going like this. I looked over at John and he was like,
oh,
he was so happy to be a wingman when we didn't need him, but it was very cute.
That's very nice.
It was cute.
And so speaking of top housewives, Kyle Richards breezes through.
Top tier.
Look
at that face. Look at the face.
She looked really good.
Wow.
Really good. Her face. And she's not overdone. She's not puffed up. She looks great.
And so I say to Kyle, wow, she was swarmed. Lisa Barlow and Kyle, I feel like really got a flurry of commotion happening. And so I really didn't think I was going to get a picture with Kyle. She was definitely trying to move towards the elevators. But I said, hey, Kyle, do you want to get a tattoo together with me tonight? Because her storyline right now is she's getting all these tattoos because Morgan White has all these tattoos. And so I shouted that at her and she was like, that's funny. And I said, well, if a tattoo's not possible, can I get a selfie instead? And she was like, yeah. And she came over and took one, which was really sweet.
That was smart. You snagged her right before she disappeared.
Sure did.
And she's real tiny, real short.
Yeah.
We also got to see Garcelle again. And we had met her day one. She was one of the first people we saw. But this time we really got to chat with her, had kind of a longer talk with her. And she was so nice to us and very complimentary, just kind of kept looking back and forth between us, like, who are you girls? Where did you come from?
She couldn't stop telling us how pretty we were, how sweet we were.
Yeah.
She was so nice. She was very, very sober, came off that way, very pulled together. It wasn't like, oh my God, you girls are so cute. It was, Garcelle is 100% a professional through and through and through.
Yes. Yes. Very pulled together. I've always been a Garcelle stan, and I will be forever.
Yeah, I can't remember what we even led off with, but I think like, hey, we met you the other day, so we're not trying to be greedy with our time, but we just think that you are so wonderful, so beautiful. And I think we told her we had a podcast.
Yep, we did.
People will hear it.
Yeah, they're gonna. Oh yeah, y'all heard it on the intro for this one.
So on the intro, that's Garcelle. Obviously, she says it was so cool of her to say her name too. Like, I'm Garcelle, and this is All That to Say podcast, and that was so great. I was so happy that she did that.
So good. And looking back on Marge's, like for her to say all that you say, I was like, that's very Jersey.
It is. It's very Jersey. And this is the All That You Say podcast. It was perfect.
Thinking of a super Jersey person trying to say a more Southern catchphrase.
Yeah.
No wonder she said it differently, because she's like, why are we saying that? You know?
Of course, it was perfect. It couldn't have been better. Really, all three of them were exactly who they were, right? You have Candace, who adds bitch to the end of hers. You have Marge's, who jerseys it up. And you have Garcelle, the through and through professional actress, the thespian herself, who's delivering name and line perfectly.
So good. So y'all, we end up checking out. We close out the tab, the very, very high tab at the Four Seasons.
Thank you again for those Venmos.
Yes, thank you all, because y'all funded that for us. And we decide, let's go ahead and get the Uber and we'll start to mosey, because it's getting close to midnight. And we felt, with all of the people we just shared, we were like, this was so worth it. So worth it. And so we start to go outside, and within seconds of going outside and waiting on the Uber, here out of the shadows comes Dorit.
Dorit Hemsley.
Out of the shadows.
Y'all. Wow.
And y'all know what? She was very sweet.
Very sweet.
I would say a little soft-spoken, kind of.
So soft-spoken.
Mild, just very mild. And she said, we're really tired. It's been a long couple of days and I'm excited to lay down. But she still made time with us and was so kind.
When you don't know what else to say to a Bravo Lab, let me give you a helpful hint. How are you doing?
Yes, that's right. You did say that.
How are you doing? Because I could just tell she just seemed a little bit down, a little bit either run down or down in spirit. So I said, Dorit, how are you doing? Like, how are you? You know, I'm very tired. Like she was happy to finally just like say how she was really truly feeling, I think.
Yeah, she was so honest with you.
Very, very,
very, very sweet. We finish up. We're finishing with her, and then out of the corner of our eye, we see Giselle and Charisse climbing out of a regular Las Vegas taxi cab. Not an Uber, not a Sprinter van, just a bummy old taxi cab.
444-444-4444. Like one of those cabs, y'all. And we are confused. We think, what are you doing here without Dorinda? Like, what are you doing here in a taxi cab? And we say that. We're like, hey, Giselle, good to see you. What are you doing? Sitting out of a taxi
and she came over and was like, you can't get an Uber in these streets. No. We couldn't get an Uber from the party or whatever. So we just hopped in a cab. It was just such a real moment. It was really nice to see, because I think that the Potomac women do kind of keep it 100 when it comes to stuff like that. They're wealthy and they're classy, but they're also not too good for something. You know,
no, we're also going to have a wing built onto the house that doesn't look like it goes there. We're going to have a podcast party in the driveway. Yeah. You know, we're going to have a 3-wick instead of a 4-wick. And that is Potomac for you.
It really is. But y'all, Giselle and I had on the same top.
This was so great. And this was Kristen's lead in to, of course, we're already talking to them about the cab, but then Kristen goes, Giselle, we're wearing the same top. I think we have to get a picture together.
You know, we have to get a picture. She was like, okay, you're right. So we get our picture. And then Miranda is going to get a picture with both of them, with Giselle and Charisse. So she starts to walk towards them to turn around and take a photo. But do y'all see that black Sprinter van in the back? Right as she's walking, the black Sprinter van pulls up, the door opens, and Miranda squeals and says, "Oh my gosh, that's Brynn. There is Brynn."
Because I know Kristen is like trying so hard to put us in the perfect screen. I'm not sure if she's noticing that Heather Gay, Uba, Chanel Ayan, and Brynn are in this Sprinter van. This is the Sprinter van of all Sprinter vans.
Can you even?
I couldn't. And so I'm losing it. And I'm like, Kristen, oh my God, hurry, it's Brynn.
You're like, well, crap, I'm taking photos with these two ladies. So then you start complimenting them. You tell them we love Potomac, which we do. It's one of our favorites.
I'm trying to overcompensate for now saying, hurry up and take a picture with these two losers. Brynn's behind us. Let's go. So I'm like, I love Potomac. Y'all are great on it. So stupid.
No, you did good. You recovered. And very quickly, Heather Gay comes over and takes a couple photos with us. And she was chatty too, but she could also see that we were interested in who was coming out. And she gave us like some like tips of keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel, girls. You don't know who's going to be coming at any moment. And then she went ahead and went inside. And so then your lesbian lover, Chanel
Ayan,
what did she do for us?
Chanel Ayan spots us as Heather Gay is walking away. And I'm going, oh my gosh, Brynn is getting out. She's coming out. Oh my gosh. And Chanel turns to Brynn and says, these are my two friends. You have to take a picture with them. And she totally validated all of the time that we spent at her booth earlier that day with the cookie, with standing up for Kristen's picture, with the makeup, with all the curtain and drapes and everything. No, carpet and drapes. No. Yeah. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. I'm getting flustered just thinking about her. And so Chanel Ayan goes, you have to take a picture with them. You have to say hello to my friends.
Yeah. She said, these are good girls. Come take a photo with them. Girls. These are good girls. They stopped by my booth. They bought my makeup. And so Brynn had no choice but to saddle up and take a photo with each of us. So we each got a photo with them. Y'all look how tall they are. Can you even? What is happening?
Brynn is 5'10". Everyone keeps asking us this. Brynn is 5'10".
Yeah.
And Chanel Ayan wears very high heels, so she seems much taller. She's probably 5'6".
I'd say 5'6", 5'7". Yeah.
5'6", 5'7". But Uba is genuinely very tall too. So when you see Uba and Brynn and Chanel Ayan together, it is like taking in a supermodel masterpiece.
Yeah, it is. It is. And they're all flawless and just perfect faces. And they were so nice. Now it was kind of fun to see Brynn, who maybe had some drinks and was, kind of feeling whatever. That was cute to me. She wasn't slappy.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
She
was feeling Giovanni. And so it was nice of her to stop. And it was so nice of Chanel to say that. Yeah. And after that happened, our Uber pulled up. Or no. So we were about to leave. And who breezes by? 3 people breeze by. One is Countess Luann, who may have had some drinks. Everything we say on this podcast is alleged. I do want to clarify that.
Yeah.
Everything is alleged. I don't know her sobriety journey, but just saying. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah. So Luann breezes by. She's kind of leaning on a guy. And she is that's not in the space to take photos, I don't think.
Luann?
Yeah.
No,
she wasn't in a place to take photos, and we didn't want to disturb her. So she goes in, and then
I have a video.
Yes, you have the video. And then we see Vicky and Shannon come up, and they are bickering. They're
already arguing. Yeah, they're arguing.
They're arguing. They're wondering where to go. They see the crowd of people on the inside. Because remember, y'all, we're on the outside of the double doors. Everyone else is in the lobby. So they see the crowds. They're annoyed. And then we say to them, If y'all don't want to go in there, Dorit took a back door. We watched her take a back door if you want to get security to let you in. So we're giving them advice. I mean, what more can we do?
Right. Well, and because we're being so nice, we're like, hey, but if you want to take a picture with us before you sneak in that side door, we are camera ready. And they were like, no.
No, they weren't into it. They just
Nope.
wanted to get away. Shannon had some questions for the front desk, but then Vicky started to walk off and they're
They
tit
were
for tat.
arguing. Vicky or Shannon goes, so you're just going to make me go in there by myself and not have any help? And Vicky's like, not my problem. Vicky just walks to the side. Shannon's like, I just want to order room service. I want to know when I'm going to get the food. La 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 la. And so they are, I mean, arguing with each other, audibly, loudly, uncomfortably.
It was special.
Spiritually, physically, yeah, mentally, emotionally, and verbally. I don't know what to tell y'all.
So y'all, just standing out there, we saw so many housewives. It was just,
I'm sure there's some we're forgetting too. Y'all,
I know. I felt like I was in a fever dream. It just really was incredible. It was the best decision to go. I'm so glad you made us go. And we were on cloud nine going back to the room.
I'm glad I made us record this day 3 podcast too, that next day. And
yeah,
really could have skipped that. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to talk about it anymore because now we're on to day 3.
Okay. Now we're on to day 3, you guys. And I would say day 3, every single year we've done this, feels the most low key. Now that could be our feelings about it just because we know we've already done so much. We've seen so many people. So there's really not a lot of pressure. And I like that.
Yeah.
We go into it much more relaxed. We're kind of like, whoever we see is a bonus, right? Yeah. And so day 3 was more panels, kind of waiting behind some stanchions to see who might walk by, that sort of thing. Example of that might be Ashley Darby.
Oh, wow. What a stunner.
Gorgeous girly. So we had heard Brynn had already flown home. And so I went to her booth to just be kind of a stand-in.
Yeah. And people did think so.
In case anyone wanted to come by. But we did. We kind of did more of the booth situations where we were, wrong way, where we were visiting them in their booths.
Yeah, because there's less people there on Sunday, so the lines aren't nearly as long. So we're like, well, let's jump in. We already had one with Caroline Stanbury, but we were like, why not jump in? Yeah. Then we met Julia with Miami, who was lovely. You went to the Lay's thing. We got Sheena and Brock. We bought her album for the merch for the souvenir.
Yes, our souvenir for the podcast room. We got Sheena's Good as Gold album, and they showed up. So she actually signed it, which was so cool.
So cool.
We did some of the vignettes.
Wayfair killed it.
And then, this video is us visiting Chanel one last time, just to say hello, just to say thank you for vouching for us last night. That was very meaningful. And we had a great conversation with her. She called us her besties.
Well, let's also say this, and this is again why just trying to make simple but meaningful connections with Bravo Lebs will pay off for you tenfold, because we've already explained it in one way, but here's another way with Chanel Ayan, is we walk up to the booth and her security is saying she's not seeing anybody else unless you buy the makeup. And I said, well, Kristen bought the makeup already. They go, well, do you still have it on you? And I'm like, no, it's back in our room. And they said, well, then that's not going to be good enough. And I said, you know what? She'll vouch for us.
Yeah, she'll know us.
She'll know us. And sure enough, as soon as it was our turn, she goes, oh, my friends. Oh, hi, girls. Big hugs, big smooches, a long conversation where, again, we could thank her for the night before. That was so cool of you to do. She ended up calling us her bestie. She said she wore a red wig that day to channel Kristen.
Yes.
Like y'all, this is just such a nice person. Yep. And had we not had tried to make that connection, look at us. Look at us.
Look at her red hair. I'm obsessed.
Look at that. But she just, from meeting her on day 1 to then vouching for us on night 2 to then hanging with us on day 3, that's hard to do when there's tens of thousands of people here. Does it help that we have very distinguishable looks?
Yes.
Sure. Do I also want to not just dwindle it down to that? Because I do think that we are trying very hard to make nice conversational connections connections with these people, I don't think that that can be understated.
Yeah. Overstated.
Sure.
Overstated.
I don't think it can be overstated or something else. And I want to pat us on the back for keeping our heads on straight.
Yep.
For not drinking too much, for paying attention, for being true fans who watch these shows, who can then relate to people on different levels. And if anyone is listening to us and wants to go to BravoCon, those are our suggestions to you as well.
Yeah. And y'all heard our story from yesterday that, you know, there was the very, very inebriated person, and that was startling. And we saw that just some throughout the entire convention. But, you know, just come, be your authentic self, know who you want to talk to, think about what you want to say to them, what's important for you to get across to that person. You know, because we would talk to some women who would say, I just don't know how to put myself out there, or, you know, I'm not sure what to say. And everybody, we all have different personalities, but any of these types of events are going to be what you make of it. And we've said that every single year. It's going to be what you make of it. And it's kind of up to you to put yourself out there and get the shot. And
right. When people say I went to BravoCon and I was disappointed, no, I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. I all 3 years, we have felt very pleased with the experience.
Beyond exceeded expectations every time.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're bar set low kind of people when it comes to an event. Certainly not you.
No.
I think that they did such a phenomenal job. I hope it is in Vegas again. I thought that this was top notch. We never had to really wait in a line to meet Brynn. Yes, worth it. And there was one line to get into the New York panel, and that's just because they hadn't exited the last panel before them.
Yeah.
But we really have just been blown away every time. And like I said, we did general admission first time, VIP second time, general admission this time.
Yep.
So to answer a frequently asked question about VIP versus GA.
Yes.
We didn't have a chance to buy VIP this year because they sold out so quickly and no one was selling theirs. Now, what I have heard is that the VIP also had their own private tent in another area where you could go at any time. Bravo Lebs were always in there mingling. You had past apps and you had drinks. You had
that's nice. Yeah.
I could see how VIP would be worth that.
Yeah.
If it didn't have that, I would say to you, I'm not sure it would be worth the difference in price to just sit a little bit closer on, you know, at the panels.
Yeah, because that was really the only benefit we were initially seeing was, okay, VIP gets to sit closer to the stage, but what else do they have that we don't?
Because even
the tent is definitely would be a bonus, but I'm curious. I would almost want to talk to someone that had VIP and say to them, how was the tent? Did you meet a lot of people in there? How'd it go? You know, I kind of want to know.
Best of Bravo said it was awesome.
Okay.
And I think either Opal had VIP as well. So we could definitely chat with them. But besides that, now here's the thing. When we bought our 3 days from Kelly Setzer, again, shout out Kelly, she had to buy them. Usually you can buy a 3-day general admission for about $600.
Yeah.
Now, those were already sold out. So Kelly took what she could get, which were 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday. Because she had to buy individually, she had to do $300 a day, basically.
That's right.
So it ended up making them a little bit more expensive. By the time you add in the fees and taxes and everything, we ended up, I think, hitting $1,200 each, which VIP 3-day ticket went for $1,200. So, of course, we would have loved to spend the same amount of money and get VIP.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the cards for us this year, and that's okay because we still made it amazing.
Amazing. And I hope that we are a testament to people that it's okay to get GA and let this experience be what you want it to be. Carefully think about what you want to do and who you want to meet. Really, I will say on day 3, we had great panels, but definitely the most unhinged and shadiest panel of all BravoCon was the very last panel on the very last day, which was Real Housewives of New Jersey Part 2. If y'all remember, they had New Jersey Part 1 with Melissa and Joe and all of that kind of that team. They were the day before. And then the next day is Teresa and Louie and Jennifer Aiden and that team of people. They have to have it split up because Teresa refuses to be on the stage with Melissa and Joe. That's it. And this is the second year in a row that they will not do the Jersey panel together. Now, what I think is next year, Bravo needs to say to Teresa, we are doing one panel.
Yeah.
You choose if you want to show up or not.
Yeah.
Hold her feet to the fire. If she doesn't want to come to the panel, then don't come to the panel. But everybody else is going to be on those couches and you're going to miss out. That's right. I don't think she wants to miss out.
No, she certainly doesn't.
They've got to stop accommodating her so much.
We are enabling Teresa Giudice. And honestly, I don't understand what she's even bringing to the show anymore.
Me neither.
That is worthy of keeping her around. I think we already have enough big personalities that it doesn't matter to me. And Melissa and her aren't really fighting on the show either.
Yeah. Like at this point, they're just keeping their distance. They don't even interact.
It's so for me, I'm just like, what's the point then? We're not going to see drama, but we're not going to see happiness. So there's, and maybe that's, then Melissa's not on it either. The difference for me, because I'm team Melissa and I know you are too, the difference for me is Joe Gorga's great television.
That's
their relationship together is great television for me. And so I want them to stay on, even if I don't feel like Melissa's bringing it. I feel like Joe is, whereas Louie is not for me. I don't need Teresa. And so when our girl, Gabby from Philly, got up on the mic, what did she say?
She said, my question is for Jen. Jen, how does it feel to be so far up Teresa's asshole?
Can you get any farther up Teresa's asshole?
And the crowd went wild.
Have you ever? I mean, I thought that we were going to have the shadiest question with the 10 things. Louie, can you tell us what you do for a job in 10 things or less?
10 words or less. Can you tell me what you do for work? And spoiler alert, he couldn't do it. The girl was counting down as he started to talk.
That's it.
You're out. You're out. You're out. And then she went.
And Louie was like, well, then I guess I'm out. Like, he didn't keep talking. He goes, I guess I'm out. If y'all want to see the videos from the fire panels, that's all on our TikTok. And I'm so proud to say that we have crossed over 500 followers on TikTok. 500,000. Did I say 500,000? 500. Did 500. I say 500? Okay.
No, you said 500.
Okay. 500 followers on TikTok. When we left for Vegas, we had 6. So I'm proud of the growth. And TikTok is really my baby over there.
Yeah.
I still have what I'm doing, but at least I'm over there trying. And so I think we uploaded 20 to 25 videos throughout the 3 days, which is a lot.
Yes.
And some of them have 250,000 plays, hundreds and hundreds of comments. So if you're wanting to go down the weeds and rabbit holes of these panels and the people who are doing this much, as far as audience questions are concerned, then you can go check them out over on our.
Y'all got to go see our TikTok. It'd be worth it to download it, watch them, and then just uninstall.
Yeah. If you don't want to have another thing, or you can just stay on and only follow us, and that's totally fine too.
Yeah. Because we're going to keep continuing to add to it, doing little fun clips from the podcast episodes and doing our best to make the TikTok work for the All That to Say podcast. Know that.
Yeah. Because you can really grow so fast over there, and it's not all people from Riga.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who still are finding us somehow, some way.
They are. I haven't even looked at it.
And ATTS must be something very important in Riga. Whatever ATTS means is very important in Riga.
Thanks.
And so we're very excited to continue to try to push TikTok and see what we can grow over there and continue. And I think we're about to cross over 7,000 followers on our Instagram.
Great.
So we have really grown and grown and grown, and it's all thanks to people who are listening. Don't forget to engage with us, to share, especially if you have a Bravo crazed fan or friend then let them know about everything. And our highlight bubbles, we put 2 highlight bubbles up there from BravoCon specifically on our Instagram page. And we will continue to bring Bravo content.
Yeah. And we hope you guys have enjoyed just coming along. And you just went dark.
I know there's no light left. It gets dark so early now. And people have watched all of the darkness just descend upon us. And then my laptop, of course, went dark. So I'm here.
So funny. Yeah, you're here. You're here. But yeah, I think this was an incredible experience. Like you said, I would love for it to be in Vegas again. Now, y'all, we don't know if it's going to overlap with the cruise. If everyone wants to start putting good energy into the universe, that
please,
the PodcATTS cruise does not overlap BravoCon. If it does, it does, and that's fine. But
if it does, we're obviously cruising.
Yeah.
Obviously,
yeah.
That's already set in stone. But we really would love it if BravoCon could be the second weekend of November and not the first weekend of November. And we will just be some busy bees for that time period. But again, we know it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
But this is a reminder that if you have not paid your deposit for the PodcATTS cruise, you want to get on that ASAP.
Yeah, because you want to lock in the price for your room. And we ended up telling several people at the convention about the cruise. Like once people realized we were legitimate people, we'd be like, come on our cruise. And they were shook it. So maybe we'll see some of our new friends.
Yeah. We're like, I love a cruise. Yeah. Okay. I'll see you there. Just send us some information. So listen, you don't want to have your room taken. If you're an OG PodcATTS, then you're going to be real pissed when it's sold out. And these new PodcATTS that we met at BravoCon are in your room.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it's a year away, but that's going to be here before you know it.
Because this was here before. Think about how quickly BravoCon came up because they announced BravoCon in April, the dates. Yep. We locked in our hotel room 13 minutes later. Thank God. And that was here before we knew it.
The year's flying. It's November 8th.
It is. It's November 8th. It's going to be Christmas. Then it's 2024. And then it's 2025. And then it's the year 2030. And here we are.
And we will still be podcasting and still struggling with technology probably, but that's okay because we are hustlers and we're going to get it done for our people.
Yeah. And I think that we did a pretty good job relaying all the information for it not being as fresh. Thank God for pictures and videos.
Yes.
And as things come to our brains, we will put them on the stories and on the TikTok and y'all on the TikTok, the Facebook,
the Walmarts,
and the Nordstroms. Okay. So is that it, Chrissy T?
I think that's it. I'm so glad we were able to capture this. So our people have a Thursday episode, and then I'll actually be seeing you tomorrow to record for next week.
Okay, great. What time you want that?
Are you so sick of me yet?
No, not sick of you whatsoever. I'm just hoping my voice can hold up. We have talked so much.
I think we're going to have to try to keep tomorrow's episodes to a normal amount of time.
Okay.
And we can do it.
We can do it. Well, everyone, they're going to be hearing this tomorrow. So I hope that y'all enjoyed watching Kristen's huge TV debut on Artfully Designed.
Yep.
See her amazing new room, her precious family, because they're going to have an access to you that they usually haven't had.
That's true.
So that's exciting. And we hope that y'all enjoyed our intro from the iconic Garcelle Beauvais.
Yes.
And stay tuned for, I guess, next week's episodes. We will be moving on from Bravo.
And back into some real special voicemails and other shenanigans.
Okay. Well, I'll see you tomorrow then. And to all the PodcATTS, we love you. Thanks for hanging in here with us through BravoCon and technology, especially if you're not a Bravo girly or guy.
Yeah.
Even better that you listened.
Yeah, we do appreciate it because that means you're a real
That's
one.
Right. Yeah. So.
All right. Go enjoy trivia. Pause in.
We'll say BravoCon out. 1, 2, 3. BravoCon out.
out.
Delay. Okay.